welcome you to Houston, Texas, where tonight the Houston Astros take on the Seattle Mariners in the first of a three-game series. The Astros started the season with the Mariners, winning the first three games of the year against Seattle. Now they try and wrap things up against this same team. As you take a look at the standings, the Astros with a 14-game lead over the Angels. Seattle's 14.5 games back, having won the last three against the Texas Rangers. The Mariners are still in the wild card chase, currently 3.5 games behind the second-place Minnesota Twins for the second wild card. Hi, everybody. Welcome. Todd Callis alongside Jeff Blum. Blummer, finally a homestand where we're around for more than a couple of days. Good to be back at an exciting time here at Minute Maid Park.
Yeah, we touched down briefly, played 3 games in about 24 hours. Then we got back on the road. It's great to be home. It feels fantastic to be here at Minute Maid.
Kind of an up and down road trip. They started out with a sweep, then they were swept, and last night a good way to finish.
It was a good way to finish. They didn't play the greatest of baseball, but they bookended that Oakland A series by playing great against the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. We saw them go out and get some clutch hits. They really didn't tear it up offensively on that road trip as a whole, but they got timely hitting last night before flying out and heading here and arriving early in the morning. It's great to see these guys when they go out there and get good pitching, defense, timely hitting. These are one of the better teams in all of baseball.
Astros landing around 6 a.m. in the morning, getting back to Minute Maid Park around 6:30 this morning, and pretty much showed up ready to go tonight against the Seattle Mariners, a team that is still vying for a wild card spot. So here are the clinching scenarios. Any win against the Mariners this weekend, Mariners are eliminated. Texas either needs a loss or an Astros win. And the big number, Blummer, the 3 versus the Angels.
It's great. You know what a better opportunity for these guys. If you just win, you clinch the division. That's just a matter of time. What they can really do is really bust some egos up and bury the two teams behind them.
So the earliest the Astros can clinch would be tomorrow afternoon. As we get you ready for baseball on this Friday night, it'll be Charlie Morton on the mound for the Astros. He'll be opposed by the left-hander James Paxton. Paxton has been as good against the Astros as anybody in the game this year. When we come back, Julian Morales will talk to us about George Springer. He had a big hit in that opening series against the Mariners with the first walk-off of the season.
George Springer and the Astros are back in Houston, kicking off the final homestand of the regular season. It's a long one. They are happy to be here, happy to settle in, and hoping to get things going, get on a nice little groove. It really all starts with George Springer, who had a really tough night last night, looking to bounce back there. Hasn't really been able to find his groove, though, since that All-Star break. Had a great first half of the season. Now he's really looking for a good stretch here in the last couple of weeks of the regular season. However, the Seattle Mariners are in town, and he's always played well against the M's. Looking back to that first walk-off hit is what Todd Callis was talking about just before the break, but you're looking at his numbers this year in 16 games versus Seattle. 5 home runs he's put up against this team, 14 RBI, 11 runs scored for him. That's tied for the most homers and RBI versus Seattle's second for most runs. He is the superhero of this club. It's Superhero Weekend. They'll celebrate him tomorrow with a bobblehead, but for some reason this guy locks in against this division rival for the Astros. And the Astros certainly need it. The offense hasn't looked like they did the first half of the season, so that is the hope here in this homestand on this last stretch of 2017 before the playoffs get going. So don't go anywhere. Should be a fun one, and the Astros getting closer to being able to celebrate a division title. Todd Callis, Jeff Lowell have more for this.
AT Sportsnet is brought to you by Toyota. Let's go places. And by Southwest. Yes to low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency. We welcome you back to Minute Maid Park for the final homestand of the season. It is a 9-game homestand, 3 with the Mariners, 3 with the White Sox, 3 with the Angels, as the Astros try and put the finishing touches on an American League West Division Championship. Charlie Morton will be on the mound, and this is the lineup he will face for the Seattle Mariners. And Scott Servais. Gene Segura will lead off at shortstop, followed by Mitch Haniger. This offense scored 28 runs in the last 3 games in Texas. Robinson Cano is the second baseman. Nelson Cruz is the DH. Kyle Seager is at third base. Yonder Alonso, the former A, now with Seattle at first. Mike Zunino having a nice second half behind the plate. Ben Gamble, the left fielder, and Guillermo Heredia is in center.
Right-hander Charlie Morton going for your Houston Astros. He has pitched very well on the season. You'll see some of his numbers, 11-7 on that season total. Last time out against Oakland, he took a tough loss going 5 innings gave up 2 earned runs, 3 total. The interesting thing about that is he has gone at least 5 innings in each of his 22 starts this season for the Houston Astros.
Working with an extra day of rest as he had the off day there in Anaheim, as Morton is ready to face Gene Segura, and we are underway. He misses inside to Segura. It's 1-0. Seattle coming in, still looking at that wild card picture. They stayed alive with winning the last 3 games in Texas. They have been pretty much right around 500 the entire second half since the All-Star break. They have been either within 2 games over or 2 games under for 60 of the games since the All-Star break. Currently they are 1 game over 500 starting tonight's play, and 3.5 back in the wild card picture. Segura put together some good ABs against Charlie Morton in this season series early in the season, and that was frustrating to Charlie because he has always been dominant against right-handed hitters, and that's kind of been the trend all year. He's been better against lefties than righties this season. Segura bounces one off the glove of Tyler White. That's going to be a base hit. Segura's thinking about going to second. White tries to corral the ball with a slide and ends up not handling it cleanly, and Segura with a little chopping double to start this game.
It's a pretty interesting play here. Letting that ball get deep. It literally bounced in that left-hand batter's box. And with Tyler White playing a little bit to the left, you see on our Mattress Firm Supermo that it just gets off the edge of the glove. But Segura, noticing that there was nobody in the vicinity, decided to try and take that extra 90 feet. I think if Tyler White picks that ball up cleanly, he has a shot.
I didn't even see the replay. That ball literally bounced in the batter's box?
Yeah. Yeah.
And ends up being a double.
Yeah.
That you don't see often.
Yeah, we'll have physics class tomorrow morning.
Here's Mitch Haniger. Tomorrow's a Saturday. No class on Saturday.
Hey, come on, man.
Pitch is on this corner for a strike. It's 0-1.
It's an off day for us, so we're going to go to school.
If you're ground chuck, you get a ball chopped in the batter's box, you are happy about that.
Yeah.
Normally.
You should be. That was the ultimate 9-1-1 swing by Segura.
Here's Mitch Haniger. Hopefully Charlie able to work around that little unusual double, and he's ahead of Haniger 0-2.
Watch the box on the other side. The opposing batter's box as this fastball gets deep on Segura. The entire baseball. I wasn't lying to you. Our Mattress Firm Supermo.
I believed you. Before that Supermo from Mattress Firm, I believed you. I just hadn't seen it myself. That's crazy.
Remember how I'm always talking about letting the ball get deep?
Yeah.
That's a little excessive.
That's extreme.
Yeah.
Haniger's been really good lately. 433, 4 home runs his last 14 games. Had a rough stretch prior to that. Overall batting .278. Takes a pitch down and away. It's 1-2. He's had a really good rookie season with the Mariners, coming over from the Diamondbacks in a trade in the offseason. They started him in this first series of the season right there in that 2 spot, and he has stayed pretty much ever since, with a couple of injuries in between. Fouled away. It's 1-2. Called third strike. That's Tom Howie and the crew chief behind the plate with the emphatic third strike call. As Haniger goes down looking, Morton picks up his first strikeout.
Great location by Charlie with this fastball down and in at 95. It's not much you can do if you're a hitter right here. You're looking over that outer third, and he paints down and in. Then the full torque call from Tom Hallion.
That was impressive.
Yeah, if Hallion's turning his back to you, that's not a good thing.
Here's Robinson Cano. Tom Hallion, the crew chief, Mark Ripperger, Rob Drake, Phil Cuzzy. That's your umpiring crew for this 3-game weekend series. Robbie has that batting average up to 281 as we start tonight's play. Evan Gattis behind the plate. We haven't seen Evan behind the plate in a while since coming off the DL. AJ Hinch wanting to get some reps for Evan as we head to the final 2.5 weeks of the season.
Now's the time to do it. We've talked about that big lead for a while. It's an eventual clinch, but he's got to get these guys reps in positions they may be playing later in the season.
Evan had the 7-day concussion list and then a right wrist injury. Cano chops one foul at the plate. It's 1-1. Cano since the end of July hitting .314. In those 42 games, a good batting average, only a couple of home runs though of his 21 in one quarter of the season. Astros just saw the Mariners to start that 5-5 road trip. They swept Seattle at Safeco Field in a 3-game series. Morton gets Cano to swing at that pitch. It's 1-2. A good curveball that dives down at the plate.
It is a very good curveball. Been a great pitch for Charlie all year long. .3% whiff percentage on that curveball. That last one was just on top of the plate. To a pretty good hitter too. Curveball again. This one he does not miss into left field. Pretty well hit, slicing, and it's foul. Robbie Cano bidding for an extra base RBI hit ends up just slicing foul as Cameron Maben getting a chance to play left field tonight. Gives you a good idea about location. Good breaking ball down. You can get the swing and miss and the chase. Leave one hanging, fluttering up out over the zone. It gives the hitter an opportunity to see it and react to it. Saw the Astros infield. No Jose Altuve defensively tonight. He's going to get a chance to DH in this game. Marwin Gonzalez playing second base in the opening game of this series. Cameron Maben will be in left field tonight, getting a chance to play in front of the Crawford boxes. George Springer in center and Josh Reddick in right. Alex Bregman has been outstanding defensively at third base. Carlos Correa and Marwin are your double play combination, and Tyler White gets a start at first. 1-2 pitch is a fastball at 97, which strikes out Robinson Cano. 2 consecutive strikeouts for Charlie Morton. Nicely done by Charlie Morton. We're going to take a look at our league leaders presented by Houston Methodist. AL West pitching leaders versus Seattle. The Houston Astros on top. Julio was talking about how good George Springer. There are other guys that have been good offensively, but they also need that pitching staff to step up, and they've done a great job. There's some big hitters through the middle part of this lineup for the Seattle Mariners, and to keep them as a total to 222 is very nice. The Astros have led by double digits since Memorial Day in the AL West, and the big reason, or one of the big reasons they have had that dominant lead, is their play within the division. By far the best in the AL West. Seattle comes in even at 500 against the division. Texas is 4 games under. The Angels 1 game over, and the Astros 17 over. And as you can see, the pitching has led the way against the AL West. Nelson Cruz with a count of 0-1. Cruz a couple of RBIs last night in a 4-for-4 game. It pushed his season total to 109 runs batted in. That's the best in the American League. And that's also a career high, surpassing his 108 RBI season 3 years ago. There's a great curveball for a strike. That's 0-2. It's pretty good when you can dot 2 pitches, 2 different pitches in the same spot.
Curveball, swing, and a foul tip caught by Evan Gattis for the final out. 3 straight strikeouts for Morton to end the first. Southwest Airlines. Here's how A.J. Hinch will have things in the first game against James Paxton of this series. George Springer at the top, followed by Alex Bregman. DH day for Jose Altuve. Carlos Correa bats in the cleanup spot. Marwin Gonzalez, one of the heroes in last night's game, plays second base and bats fifth. Evan Gattis getting a start behind the plate. Josh Reddick is in right field tonight. Tyler White is the first baseman. Yuli Gurriel with a day off, and Cameron Maben is in left.
James Paxton on the mound for the Seattle Mariners, 6'4". He's a Canadian, went to the University of Kentucky, 20 starts this season. He is 12-3. He has been highly effective when he has been healthy enough to be on that mound for the Seattle Mariners. This will be his first start back off the DL. It's been rumored that he'll throw between 50 and 60 pitches to the Houston Astros. It'll be interesting to see how they work through those 50 or 60 because they have not been successful in the past, especially this season against James Paxton.
Yeah, he has dominated the Astros like no other pitcher has dominated them in a season where they lead almost every offensive category in baseball. George Springer takes a called strike. It's 0-1. It's a bad news, good news thing. The bad news is they face James Paxton coming off the DL for the first time in 36 days. The good news is he is on a limited pitch count. We'll see how long he can last in this game, but what we've seen out of him, he has really been sharp in every start against the Astros.
Yeah, we talk about the Astros being a high slugging, low strikeout percentage type team. As that one gets away. In 20 innings, he's had 3 starts. 20 innings, he's had 20 punch-outs. Gives you an idea of how effective he is with his fastball curveball.
1 earned run for the Astros offense against James Paxton in 20 innings of work. 1 run in total. Left pectoral muscle strain. Put him on the DL on August 10th. Springer fouls one back. It's 2-2. Well, the one thing the Astros have done all season long is not only battle at bats, extended at bats, they've struck out the least of any team in baseball while scoring the most runs, and they've also put up high pitch counts on starters. Yeah,
early on in the season, especially that first half, they were destroying pitch counts for pitchers and getting into bullpens where they were doing even more damage.
Now it's 3-2. And we saw the Astros do well against the Mariners bullpen in that last series in Seattle. A couple of home runs by Cameron Maben helped sweep that series. There's a walk. James Paxton walks George Springer after getting ahead 1-2.
It's a good sign. It's always good seeing George on base.
George 2 runs shy of the 100 RBI plateau. Jose Altuve reached that 100 run scored plateau. Jose Altuve reached that 100-run scored plateau in last night's game. Here's Alex Bregman.
Yeah, these last couple weeks are going to be fun to see where some of these numbers end up for these guys.
Bregman has a 7-game hitting streak, and during that hitting streak, his average has actually dropped. He's had 1 hit a game for 7 straight games, batting .259 during that streak. .283 overall. In on the hands of Bregman, pops him up. Kyle Seager waits for it, and there's 1 away.
Pitch usage is going to be presented by AT & T. It's going to be on James Paxton. 65% of the time you're going to see him throw that fastball. The average against is okay, not great at 245. It's that curveball that's been the extremely effective pitch for him, throwing it 21% of the time. It's surprising he doesn't throw it more often, considering the batting average against it, 157 amongst league leaders.
Last start, he was almost exclusively fastball, curveball, 3/4 fastball, quarter curveball. Again, that was a little more than 5 weeks ago before the injury. In that game, he allowed 2 home runs to the Angels. He had gone 7 prior starts without allowing a home run. Brad Peacock had been amongst the leaders, fewest home runs per 9 innings, but he only trailed James Paxton. Delivers a curveball for a strike to Altuve. It's 1-1. 7 home runs allowed by this lefty in 120 innings of work. Altuve, who's been hitting so well on the road all season long, coming off a 2-12 road trip, 7 for 33. Doesn't agree with that last call by Tom Hallion. He's down to the count 1-2. Bounces up there. Springer, a good break, and he's going to get to second on the wild pitch.
When you got a left-handed pitcher out there, sometimes you can't steal as many bags or be as aggressive as you want to be, so you've got to be able to anticipate ball in the dirt. And Paxton's one of those guys, because he has such a good breaking ball, you can kind of anticipate that breaking ball in the dirt, especially in a 2-strike count.
Bouncing that one up there. Could be a little rust still for James Paxton in his first start back. That one almost hits Altuve, and the count's full.
Well, we've talked about it with a lot of the injuries to the rotation for the Houston Astros. Sometimes that first start back off the DL, they may be good enough to pitch, but mentally you're not thoroughly convinced that you've gotten past that injury and really let that arm go and really have that true delivery.
He's already walked 1 in this inning, and now, after getting ahead of Altuve, the count's full. Altuve into center field for a base hit. Springer around third. He is going to score, and the Astros on the board with a Jose Altuve RBI.
It was good to see some home cooking for the boys finally. The way it should be, with George getting on via the walk, and then Jose Altuve doing Jose Altuve type things. With that knock right there, just 9 hits away from 200. How many times have we seen him drive in that first run of the ball game?
He does it a lot, and he's right near the leader on this team. Marwin Gonzalez in RBIs. Jose up to 77 now. Marwin leads the team with 80. And here's Carlos Correa. Interesting road trip for Correa in that he finally started to look more like himself in the latter part of that road trip. He still wasn't driving in many runs. In fact, he didn't have an RBI on that road trip. Ball in the dirt, gets away, almost hits Correa. Altuve to second. He's looking at third and dancing off second just in case it wasn't retrieved quickly by Zunino.
Paxton overthrowing the breaking ball. See him getting on the side of that four-seam break down and in. Wildly out in front. Nothing Zunino could do. Pretty easy read for Jose.
Paxton has had 2 curveballs that have not even reached home plate. Both wild pitches. Here's a 1-0 pitch to Correa way outside, and you can see Paxton is just not real comfortable and calls his catcher Mike Zunino out as he continues to miss his location in this inning.
There's a little bit of excitement in James Paxton, just knowing that he's coming back off the DL. They're still hanging around that wild card chase a little bit, but this really bodes well for the Houston Astros as far as getting that pitch count up in a hurry to get Paxton out of there.
Correa hits a rocket to center field, going all the way back and over the head of Heredia. That'll score Altuve. Carlos Correa with a line drive double to center. It's 2-0.
Oh, don't get our big 3 hot. Watch out.
The Astros in 4 batters have scored more runs against James Paxton than they did against him in the first 20 innings.
And hitting mistakes. In a 2-0 count, Carlos Correa is sitting fastball, and he got one elevated and smashed a line drive over the leaping Heredia.
Correa had an RBI in his first at bat off the DL. Then 43 at bats without an RBI, and that one has to feel good.
Last RBI was here at Minute Maid Park.
That is RBI single after a walk, his first official AB off the DL, and now drives in his 69th run of the year.
Wow. 110 miles an hour off the bat for Carlos Correa. That is a sign in the right direction.
3 starts, 20 innings, 1 run. Tonight, 1/3 of an inning, 4 batters, 2 runs. Here's Marwin Gonzalez. Marwin takes a called strike. Well, Paxton up to 18 pitches, 9 balls, 9 strikes. Astros know he's on a limited pitch count, and they have done a good job early. Springer went to 3-2. Altuve went to 3-2. And he's ahead of Marwin 0-2. Good visit so far by Mel Stottlemyre.
You think they have a track man in the stadium that keeps track of that for them? Quality visits.
See how this AB plays out. But he is ahead 0-2, and Marwin fouls off the breaking ball.
And you're going to have pitching coaches talking about their QVs.
Quality visits?
Yeah.
Good to see the Astros jump out top. It was a tough road trip, especially the second half of the road trip, scoring runs. Scored a bunch in the first 5 games, but the last 5 games, they didn't score with much frequency. Last night was a little better, getting 5, and 3 of those came in the 8th and the 9th. Up and in, backs Marwin off the plate. It's 1-2. Marwin batting right-handed. Been a better year for him as a lefty hitter. Just .237 right-handed. In the dirt, gets away from Zunino. Not far enough for Correa to advance, and now the count's 2-2.
Yeah, Zunino did a good job. He's having a rough inning working with Paxton, trying to get him right.
Paxton and Felix Hernandez threw a 2-inning simulated game, getting ready for their respective starts. Felix made his first start last night at Globe Life Park against the Texas Rangers, and now Paxton, his first start back from the DL. Minor league seasons are over. Have to get your work in another form. They went with a 2-inning simulated game, and so far it's looking like there still is some rust there from Paxton. 2 wild pitches, a walk, RBI single by Altuve, RBI double by Correa. Fly ball in the air to right field. Haniger's over by the line and makes the play. Correa bluffs a go and draws the throw. Gonzalez retired for the second out.
In defense of my switch hitting brethren who are still playing, it's tough when you switch hit because the right-handed numbers for me will always be a little bit further down just because of the frequency of ABs. You don't see too many left-handed starters coming into this game, or now. Marwin only has 115 ABs against left-handed pitching. And some of the guys you're seeing are starters who are very good, or you're seeing that left-handed specialist that's in there to flip them onto that right-hand side. So tough ABs all the way around, but still a nice asset to have because it keeps you in the ball game.
Yeah, and having a career year in every single category is Marwin Gonzalez. Evan Gattis digs in and misses that fastball. Astros like to see Evan get going at the plate since coming back from 2 different DL stints in August. Evan hasn't had the same kind of at-bats we have seen from him earlier in the season. Battling an 0 for 15 right now.
Must be a good guy to do it against. He's got history. A couple of home runs against James Paxton.
Paxton about to make his 25th pitch of this inning. Into center field. On comes Heredia. That's going to fall for a hit. Correa's going to score. Gattis with an RBI single. The Astros lead 3-0.
Doesn't have to be crushed to do damage, especially with 2 outs. 2-seam fastball. He blew the first one past Evan. Evan sped things up and got this one off the end of the bat. And in doing so, hits what we like to call a heavy ball. I hate this part.
Evan Gattis with an RBI. As he watches a fan in the outfield.
Oh, good hit.
Astros with a 3-run first inning. Altuve an RBI single. Correa an RBI double. Gattis an RBI single. What do you call that base hit by Gattis?
Heavy ball. Because it's not hitting hard enough to stay in the air long enough. Gravity takes over and it just comes plummeting to the earth. Much like that idiot fan.
We will not obviously show you that fan who has delayed this game a little bit here in the bottom half of the first. Astros rolling along here.
This is what we're talking about as far as heavy ball. He, off the end of the bat, not hit very hard, but on a full swing. Right about here, gravity takes over and pulls it to the earth because it weighs a ton.
Gattis with his 46th run batted in of the season and snaps an 0 for 15. Astros up to 25 pitches on the starter James Paxton. Plummer mentioned the 50 to 60 pitch plateau. We could be seeing a short outing tonight from a guy who has dominated the Astros in his first 3 starts against this team. Security all back in their places now, and we're ready to play baseball once again. Reddick coming in with that .313 batting average. Which misses ball 1. Josh 5th now in the American League in batting. But he's as happy as anybody to be back at Minute Maid Park, where he has hit over .350 this season. .354 average in his games in this building. 2-0 the count.
It's kind of funny how sitting in this seat and watching Josh Reddick in that Oakland A's uniform drive you nuts for 4 years, and then you put that orange jersey on him, all of a sudden, I'm in love with the guy.
Getting a start against a lefty tonight, and he had a really good season against lefties, which hasn't been the case in recent years, Plummer.
Yeah. That doesn't add up right there, does it?
Down low, it's 3-1.
Yeah, when you go a $150 to 320 plus, that's pretty impressive turnaround.
$155 and 97 at bats. Bullpen action already for the Mariners. 3-1 pitch is outside, ball 4. Second walk issued by Paxton. The Astros keep putting pitches on his ledger here in the first inning. He's now up to 30 pitches in the first. Today's Quicken Loans Rocket Arms. That was coming into tonight. Obviously that number has moved up, but James Paxton mentioning as good as any pitcher we have seen in 2017 against this Astros offense. But tonight a different story coming off the DL. 3 runs in the first inning. And now Tyler White bats and takes a pitch inside. If you're Scott Service, you may not want to see another batter after this. This is a lot of pitches for a guy coming off the DL.
No, that's exactly it. And the command isn't there. When he's out of the zone, it's nowhere near the zone. When he's in the zone, it's a hittable pitch. And you're right. He doesn't want to see him go out there and exhaust and have high leverage, high stress inning like he is right now, because that's not going to do anything for trying to get him back into shape.
He has Ryan Garten, the right-hander, warming up. Now Kyle Seager buying some time with a little meeting on the mound. There is the righty who's done well as a Mariner. 32 pitches in. Paxton's fastball normally has an average velocity just a slight tick ahead of Charlie Morton, one of the highest in the league. But tonight we've seen him around 92, 93 with a fastball.
It's a really good point. I believe the average heater in the big leagues, the heater being fastball, is 92. Most average major league hitters can turn around a 92-mile-an-hour fastball. It's when you start getting to the mid-90s when you can start being hyper-effective like James Paxton is, because when he's throwing in the mid-90s with that curveball, that's a filthy combination.
Foul ball headed towards the crowd and out of play. Coming into tonight, Morton was averaging 96 on his fastball, which was 5th amongst American League pitchers with a minimum of 100 pitches, and Paxton was 4th at 96.1. We have not seen that velocity tonight. 2-2 the count to Tyler White. .34 pitches in, 17 balls, 17 strikes. Gaddis on second, Reddick on first in a 3-0 game. And Tyler stays alive. Tyler's done a nice job for the Astros this year. Limited playing time. 14 for 41 though, with 3 home runs and 9 runs batted in. 8 of his 14 hits are extra bases.
It's going to be exciting for him to be in the lineup. Anytime you can be a guy who's not a regular and be in a situation where you have an opportunity to impact a clinching game and get you a little bit closer, that's always exciting.
Yeah, the Astros can clinch as early as tomorrow. Magic number down to 3. And a great start tonight, up 3-0, putting a lot of pitches on the left-hander James Paxton, who may be facing his final batter of this game if he doesn't retire Tyler White here. His 3rd full count of the inning. Runners will be off with 2 outs. White into center field. Heredia is back and making the play for the final out.
Back home in the friendly confines here at Minute Maid Park, and the boys are looking comfortable. Altuve with the big knock, driving in George Springer. Then it was Carlos Correa with a bullet to center, 110 miles an hour off the bat. Evan Gattis getting in on the action on the other end, just a little drop shot for an RBI. Good start. Driven by your Texas Ford dealers. Kyle Seager has been a thorn in the Astros side this season. Some of the extra base hits you've seen him hit are on screen right. Some of the pitches that he hit for extra base hits are on screen left. Likes to pull the ball a little bit. Looks like he's really trying to get on that outside corner and yank the ball to the pull side. He has been very effective with it, hitting those 5 home runs this season.
Astros have not had much success, as Blummer mentioned, against them, but other teams haven't either. As Seager comes in on a nice run, he's hit in 11 straight games with 6 home runs during that stretch. No, if you look at the overall numbers,
you look at them
for the Seattle Mariners versus the Astros this year. Cano and Cruz, they've done a good job against the 3-4 hitters. It's been this guy who's done most of the damage.
This is right where you want to face him too. Nobody on in a 3-run lead. It's tough to hold down all 3 guys at once.
Charlie had a relatively long bottom half of the first inning to wait through, but he'll take the 3 runs any day. Now he's ahead 0-2 on Kyle Seager. Towards the second baseman Marwin Gonzalez, who has it and flips to first in time for out number 1 of the second. Charlie Morton flew ahead of the team, probably a good thing because the rest of the guys got into the stadium around 6:30 this morning. How'd you sleep?
Not as long as I need.
Yeah. Everybody's got to work it on adrenaline and caffeine tonight. As Yonder Alonso will bat with 1 out and nobody on.
Just reminiscing about the good old days.
There were other methods to get ready that were legal at the time, not so much anymore.
It's just ludicrous that you get in at 6:30, 7 o'clock in the morning.
It is, and that won't happen next year or the year after or hopefully anytime in the future, because the new scheduling agreement is that you're not allowed to play night games, travel with a game the next day from the West Coast to a Central or East Coast time zone.
Oh, I thought you said that they were going to fly broadcasters out early. It's not the CBA.
No, we'll be right with everybody else, but yeah. We do have tomorrow off.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, we would rather be with you guys. It is a national telecast tomorrow, so no AT&T Sportsnet coverage. But back with you Sunday. 2-1 pitch is fouled by Yonder Alonso. It's 2-2. Alonso was with the A's. A's falling out of contention. Decided to trade Alonso, give Matt Olson a chance to get some ABs. Olson's made the most of his time, and Alonso, nice piece here in Seattle. 2-2 pitch is down and in. It's 3-2. Charlie allowed a kind of a funky double off the bat of Gene Segura to start this game, and then struck out the next 3 batters to end the first. Started off this inning with a ground out. Swing and a miss. 97 with a fastball. Charlie has had an electric fastball tonight. That's his 4th strikeout.
Charlie's also known as a sinker ball type pitcher, but we've seen a couple of pitches elevated as far as fastballs are concerned to get it past a couple of Seattle Mariner hitters. That's nice.
Here's Mike Zunino. Zunino coming off a great trip in that series in Texas. 6 for 12 against the Rangers, a couple of home runs, 5 RBIs. On the ground foul. Charlie ahead 0-2. One thing Charlie would like to do is take the ball past the 5th inning tonight. His last 3 starts have all been 5-inning starts, allowing 3, 2, and 3 runs in those starts. Last game averaging 22 pitches per inning. So far tonight he's been on a better pitch count early. 21 strikes, 7 balls, 28 pitches in, and ahead 0-2 on Zunino. He gets him with that breaking ball. Charlie Morton has 5 strikeouts of the first 6 outs, and the Astros lead 3-0.
Are bringing the lumber today. May have been getting the start in left field tonight. He's homered in 3 times in 11 games as an Astro, but 2 of those on that first road trip with the Astros against this Seattle team at Safeco Field. It was September 5th with Verlander on the mound, so the new guys coming through immediately. Have a go-ahead 2-home run that night for the win, and then September 6th for the 2nd straight night, a 2-run homer to break the tie there. He felt comfortable from day 1 with this club, guys. And it was impressive to see, you know, he has the relationship with AJ Hinch, but impressive to see that he worked with the hitting coaches right when he showed up and went to work on his swing and his approach, and the results we saw immediately, Todd.
Yeah, big series against these Mariners, as you mentioned. Overall, not hitting at a high clip, 4 for 30 with the Astros, but you couldn't have 2 bigger hits than he did in Safeco Field with those 2-run home runs, one winning the game for Justin Verlander and the other giving the Astros a sweep of that series. And he's down to the count here, 1-2. Maben has it better this year against lefties, hitting .264, but all his power has come against right-hand pitchers with all 9 of his home runs. That is upstairs. It's 2-2. James Paxton had to throw 37 first-inning pitches. And we'll see how long he can go in this game. Doubtful he can get more than 3 with that limited pitch count.
Tell you what, if it wasn't for the immediate impact of a Justin Verlander and Cameron Maben, that might have been a different road trip.
That series in Seattle easily could have been the other way, losing 2 out of 3 instead of a sweep. And then Justin single-handedly winning that first game in Anaheim with a 1-0 victory. There's a fly ball to right field for out number 1. Well, Maben retired for the first out in the second inning. Ended up being a 5-5 trip. You could make the argument that without Verlander and Maben, it might have been 2-8.
Yeah. These guys had very big impact. Hitting coach Dave Hudgens there in the front of your screen, working hard with these hitters.
Springer takes a curveball for a strike.
I always give him a hard time. I'm like, are you really working hard considering the talent you have? And he kind of admitted that it's more fun watching these guys work because they are so good.
It's been a great year all around. I mean, they're doing things that haven't been done offensively in a number of seasons. They have dominated the league and the major leagues in every offensive category all year while not striking out. Pitches away. It's 2-1. It's been an odd statistical year in that sense for both the offense of the Astros and then also pitching staff of the Indians and the Dodgers. The Astros are scoring the most runs with the fewest strikeouts, which doesn't usually go hand in hand. And the Dodgers and the Indians are striking out the most while walking the fewest, which usually doesn't go hand in hand.
Doesn't.
It's one of those weird years where the dominant teams are incredibly dominant in their category. 3-1 pitch is fouled away. George had a pretty good swing at that 93-mile-an-hour fastball. More bullpen action for the Mariners, second straight inning. As much as Scott Service would like to see Paxton go 2 or 3 innings in this game, he also knows he needs this lefty to be available for a few more starts if they're going to make a push for that second wild card spot.
Rodney Linares getting a chance to be up here in the big leagues in the month of September, help out A.J. Hinch, that coaching staff.
Manager AA Corpus Christi, they had a nice year. Try to make a run for the postseason at the end. George Springer deep to left field. This ball on the line off the top of the wall. Springer heading to second. Gamble throws a little wide. George with a long head first slide for a double. 1 out in the second.
That is leaning on a fastball. Pitches all over the place, but this one elevated over the middle part of the plate, and George up to the task, gets the barrel on it, smokes that ball into left field. Tried to knock it through the Fiesta sign out there.
Just a long slip and slide here.
It's a good TV slide, though. Looks good. Looks good on the off-season highlight reel.
It is superhero.
Yeah.
Friday.
That, there you go.
James Paxton's night is over at 50 pitches. Safe to say that is not the same James Paxton we saw in his first 3 starts against the Houston Astros. He will leave 1 out into the second inning. Ryan Garten will come on.
Astros with a 3-0 lead, and time to take a look at today's Chevy Stropel. You guys talking about Superhero Weekend. Make sure you're following us at ATT Sportsnet SW so you can vote. Which Astros player embodies their inner superhero the most? Josh Reddick with his Spider-Man, Lance McCullers Jr., Batman, George Springer, Superman, or someone else? Cameron Maven, big fan of Spider-Man as well. Maybe there's something we haven't thought of yet. It would be somebody that reminds us of a superhero.
I know fans are creative. They'll have some good write-ins.
For sure. We'll tell you who wins a little bit later.
All right, Julia, we have a new pitcher on the mound in the second inning. James Paxton with a limited pitch count, only goes 50 pitches tonight, and now hands the ball to Ryan Garten.
Ryan Garten between Tampa Bay and Seattle has that 0-1 record. The ERA at 6.43. He has pitched multiple innings this season. He has an outing earlier with Tampa Bay against Seattle where he went 3 2/3 innings.
Well, Garten will deliver to Alex Bregman, first batter he faces. Bregman popped up in his first at-bat.
Garten's got a fastball around 93 miles an hour. Secondary pitches are the changeup, curveball, and slider.
Down low, it's 2-0. Garten's done a nice job for Scott Servais since coming over in a deal. Part of the 4-player deal on August 6th. He appeared in 6 games. Never usually works a full inning, is not allowed to run. They do have a guy in the bullpen who is a former starter, Giovanni Gallardo, who's now warming up as Bregman pops it up for the second AB. This one foul. Zunino gives it a look and will make the play right in front of the Astros dugout. But Bregman retired for the second out. We've seen some high exit velocities tonight from the Astros offense as Zunino makes that play right in front of the dugout. Correa, you mentioned in the first inning, that George Springer double was pretty serious too.
Yeah, if you're getting picky, Carlos Correa hit his at 109.9. That line drive to center field. That ball that George just hit off of the left center field wall, 109.4.
Yeah, any elevations, that would have been on the train track.
Absolutely.
Good to see George and Correa hit the ball in that 110-mile-an-hour range as Jose Altuve is the batter. Altuve sends one to right field, sending Haniger back to the track where he makes the play for the final out. Well, the Astros fail to score but still lead at the end of 2, 3-0.
Leading 3-0 over the Seattle Mariners. Join the Astros for tomorrow's game against the Mariners as 10,000 fans in attendance will receive a Super Springer diving catch bobblehead presented by Coca-Cola. For tickets and info, visit astros.com/promotions.
George has had a few of those diving catches to choose from for the bobblehead. Check that out tomorrow as they give that away. George now in full beard as we get ready for the third inning. Having a good time with the fans out there in the outfield, or somebody in the bullpen, one or the other.
It's usually those bullpen guys chirping.
Here's Ben Gamble against Charlie Morton. Well, our first two innings, we have seen Charlie Morton. And there's different points this season where we go, you know what, Charlie Morton looks like he could dominate tonight. And then somewhere along the line, it doesn't always work out for Charlie. And this start again tonight, he's just so filthy with those 5 strikeouts in the first 2 innings.
Yeah, he makes the seat I sit in very hard, because if I watch the first 2-3 innings, I go, this guy's wipeout stuff. The fastball's electric. He's locating the put-away curveball that has a low batting average against it all year long. And then a walk, maybe a little excuse me base hit, and the wheels come off a little bit. So it's just something that Charlie's trying to work through, but it's nice to see that he has this stuff. It's just sometimes it might be a little bit of confidence or focus for these guys to just continue to work at this pace as well as he has been.
It's something you would love to see him be able to put together on a consistent basis, because stuff-wise, he can dominate. We mentioned the 96-mile-an-hour fastball, the curveball that's got a Bugs Bunny effect at times, and then you look down his line by line, his game log, and there's been one outing all year where he's gone 7 shutout innings. But for the most part, it's mostly 5 and change, 6. He's not getting as deep into games when with that stuff. If he's able to command it, you would like to see him get to the 7th inning more often. Strike to Guillermo Heredia, it's 0-1.
And at times it just looks like easy cheese. Like that last delivery right there at 95. He just said, I'm going to pump a heater over. Yet it jumps out of his hand, then he backs it up with that curveball.
Well, now he's ahead 0-2, and Heredia's, you know, in complete defense mode now.
That's why we always hear AJ and Brent Strom talking about getting ahead early, taking command of that AB.
Ground ball towards Bregman. His throw on the money. Heredia gets down the line. Alex knew he had to hustle with that transfer, and there's 2 away. Eight in a row sent down by Charlie Morton, and really he could be through the first time through the lineup in perfect fashion, except for Gene Segura hit a ball that bounced in the right side of the batter's box, the left-hand hitter's batter's box, and ended up being a double over the head of Tyler White. Charlie starts him with a pitch inside for a ball. It's 1-0. Morton's 4th appearance against the Mariners, but his 1st since July 19th. All of his career outings against Seattle coming this year. Spent his entire career in the National League prior to this season. There's a strike. It's 2-1. Budweiser Brew House, Party Deco is a good time out there. Segura thought about bunting and takes a strike. It's 2-2. Segura, a couple of DL stints this year. Hamstring injury put him on the DL in April, and an ankle injury put him on the DL in June. Coming in as their leading hitter at .295. On the ground towards White. Tyler will make the play himself. Charlie Morton has another 1-2-3 inning. He has retired 9 in a row. When we come back, Carlos Correa will lead things off. He doubled for an RBI his first time up. We head to the bottom half of the third inning. Make sure to come out to the ballpark tomorrow and be part of Keuchel's Corner, presented by Houston Methodist. Fans who buy a Keuchel's Corner ticket package receive a ticket, a beer, and an exclusive Keuchel's Corner t-shirt. For more information, visit astros.com/Keuchel's Corner or call 1-877-9-ASTROS. Quite a weekend in store here at Minute Maid Park. Tonight you have the big and bright Friday nights, which have been a huge hit all year long, and the opening game of a 9-game homestand with the Astros leading 3-0. Tomorrow, Keuchel's Corner, a chance at a potential clinch tomorrow. And then Sunday, Justin Verlander's home Astros debut. Not a bad weekend.
Anytime you can have your hometown team clinch in your home stadium, that is always a good time.
Astros have seen this guy before as a starter, now working out of the bullpen recently where he's had success. Yovani Gallardo takes over in the third.
A lot of experience against the Houston Astros in the past. Spent a lot of time with the Milwaukee Brewers. He has a career 16-5 record against the Houston Astros in 23 starts.
He'll face Carlos Correa, who hit a rocket to center field his first time up and takes a pitch up high for a ball. It's 1-0. Correa hit a double over the head of Guillermo Heredia to score Jose Altuve for the game's second run. Astros scored 3 in the first and did some damage against James Paxton, who had had their number all season long. Paxton on a limited pitch count lasted just an inning and a third tonight, allowing 3 runs on 4 hits. Ryan Garten came in and got the final 2 outs of the second, and now it's Gallardo's turn. As he misses to Correa, it's 2-1. Gallardo's been better since moving into the bullpen. He struggled as a starter. 22 starts, an ERA of 6.28. But in 12 1/3 innings out of the bullpen and 5 relief appearances, he's only allowed 1 earned run. 0.73 ERA. Well, Scott Servais is probably looking for multiple innings out of Gallardo again tonight. 3-1 pitch on the ground. Cano with a diving stop. Correa is safe at first base. The throw gets through. See how they rule that. I think Correa may have been safe either way. And they're going to give Carlos a base hit. He's 2 for 2.
Smashed the first hit of the game. This one he had to earn by hustling it out. Stays on it, trying to shoot it the other way. Cano had other ideas, but the speed of Correa forcing the errant throw. Usually we see Robinson Cano with a very casual, laissez-faire type attitude at second base. We actually had to see him pop up and try and make a strong throw.
Well, Correa with the infield hit. Astros now with 5 hits, and here's Marwin Gonzalez. Correa and Springer. Those guys have been on base all 4 times so far tonight, and have hit the ball hard, very hard, twice. If those guys start get rolling, Altuve's been the one consistent force all year long, along with Josh Reddick, Marwin Gonzalez. But if you get the Springer Correa guys rolling, that's where they were kind of missing on that last road trip. Marlin tried to hold up. Correa is out at first base, trying to dive back in as Zunino picks him off first. Kind of stuck on that dive.
Yep. It's almost like he had a Velcro jersey on. It's a little bit of a cutter down and in. You know what that is, Todd?
What?
That was just a good old-fashioned scorpion. Watch the tail come up.
That's his super. What was that? That's his version of his scorpion superhero. That was not the prettiest dive back. This one up the middle. Segura is there for out number 2.
Wow. Wow. If I didn't love Carlos Correa as much as I did, that oh man. If you've got a veteran like a Brian McCann. He might be running up into the video room right now to get a couple of takes on that. Have it running on a loop. He does everything so immaculately well that it shocked the heck out of me to see him.
He's a smooth customer normally.
Yeah.
Not on that dive. Here's Evan Gattis with a swing and a miss. It's 0-1.
I still panic to this day when we go to stadiums and even here at Minute Maid Park when they put on the big board, the bloopers. Start to see some of those things. I sit here on the edge of my seat going, please don't show any of mine. Please don't show any of mine. that one right there might show up somewhere.
It's got a good chance. 0-1 pitch to Evan, misses. It's 1-1. Correa picked off first after a single. Now Marwin Gonzalez ground out. And Evan Gattis bats with the bases empty and 2 outs. Evan with an RBI single his first time up. Finished off that 3-run inning for the Astros. Tried to hold up on a pitch in the dirt. It's 2-1. Gattis getting the start tonight. Dallas Keuchel on the mound tomorrow for the afternoon contest. We should see Brian McCann for that one. Mentioned tomorrow is a national telecast, earlier start time than normal, 12:05. Evan didn't mean to swing at that. A check swing that he fouls away. It's 2-2. Ground, fair ball, extra bases down the left field line. Evan Gattis a 2-for-2 night. He's on second with a 2-out double.
It's got to feel good for Evan. Getting on base a couple of times now. Drop shot base hit the first time around. This one a little more of a true rocket down that third base line, getting into that left field corner. Sneaking the head out after that check swing, committing to this swing and shooting it past Kyle Seager. That was nice.
That'll bring up Josh Reddick, who started this game. Facing the lefty James Paxton his first time, drew a walk. Now facing Yovani Gallardo, takes one outside for ball 1. Reddick with 79 runs batted in, has a career high of 85. There's a ball into right field. Gattis is going to be sent home by Pettis. The throw by Haniger is up the line. Scoring is Gattis. Reddick with RBI number 80 on the season, and the Astros lead 4-0.
Where'd you say Josh Reddick was as far as batting average in the league, in the American League? Where's he ranked? 5th? See where he's hitting in the lineup? He's hitting 7th in this Astros lineup. Spider-Man showed up. Just incredible. Talk about depth all season long. Josh Reddick has been evidence of that. He's moved all over this lineup, but comes up big in the 7th spot tonight, driving in Evan Gattis.
First pitch swinging as Tyler White sends a high pop-up. Robinson Cano waits for it. He'll make that catch by his shoulder for the final out. But the Astros tack on another. Josh Reddick joins Marwin Gonzalez in the 80 RBI club with a single to right. And he has given Charlie Morton a 4-0 lead to work with.
Nothing lead over the Mariners, and it's Military Appreciation Day here at the ballpark, and Chevy always a big part of that. Forbes Durden joins me now, the VP of the Houston area Chevy dealers. We've done this before, we do this every year, but why is this so important to Chevy for you guys to give back, especially to the military?
You know, we love giving back to the community, and you know, this is our third year giving away a car to a veteran, and this is something just small that we could do as a group together, and it's least that we could do for our community.
Yeah, you surprised Specialist Matt Conley with that car. That's got to be the best part of it all, just keeping the secret from him and then being able to reveal it, right?
It totally is, because you know, these guys have no idea. They come down here, and the next thing you know, that we're giving them a car, you know, keys to their car, and they're just coming out to throw a first pitch, and they're just floored that they get a brand new Chevrolet.
Well, we appreciate you guys coming out tonight and all that you do. I do want to bring Matt Connolly in. Specialist Matt, come here. Come in here. You won a car today, or you received a car. I shouldn't say you won it. You definitely deserve it and earned it with all of your hard work and all that you've done to serve with the U.S. Army, correct? Tell me a little bit about where you served.
Yes, ma'am. I served in Afghanistan from December 08 to July 09 with the 10th Mountain Division.
You're from the Houston area, correct?
Yes, ma'am. Deer Park.
All right, so a car comes around the warning track, and you think that you're just going to throw out the first pitch. When you found out that you were receiving a car for you and your family, what did you think?
A little overwhelmed, mainly just really blessed. Couldn't have come at a better time with my other vehicle breaking down left and right. It's really a blessing.
Just what does it mean to you, Astros and Chevy, to be doing this for you guys, and for not just you, but everyone in the military?
I just want to say thank you. It really means a lot, especially being a Chevy fan and Astros fan.
You got a brand new car. Enjoy it, and enjoy the game with you and your family.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
All right, guys, back over to you.
Good stuff. Great to see that, and thanks to Chevrolet for all they do for the military. That was a great moment before the game.
Yeah, the opportunity to be able to do that is amazing and good for them.
Mitch Haniger grounding out to Marwin Gonzalez in the shift, and now a 1-1 count to Robinson Cano. Astros lead this game 4-0. We're in the fourth inning. Charlie Morton has allowed an opening double by Gene Segura and then retired the last 10 batters. Struck out Robinson Cano. Second of 5 strikeouts for Morton. He struck out 5 of the first 6 hitters he faced. On the ground up the middle, and there's the first hit since the first batter of the game. Robbie Cano with a ground single into center field as a 1-out base runner. This is superhero weekend here at Minute Maid Park. We asked you on our stroll poll about which superhero. I think Josh Reddick plays up the Spider-Man thing probably more than any other player with that superhero combination.
I agree. Other than seeing Cameron Maben's shoes a couple of weeks back before he became an Astro.
Spidey Mabe.
Those were pretty sweet, but see all the webbing he has on and his hat that he uses to create a good tack when he throws the baseball.
Goes with the Spider-Man undergarments. They were prevalent with the long sleeves during that Players Weekend. We have also seen some creative answers from different fans too on the right end. We've seen a couple of Captain Cavemans, more than a couple. We've seen a number of Captain Cavemans for the catcher tonight, Evan Gaddis.
Yeah, I was all over that last year.
It's a good one. Ball down and in, and Nelson Cruz. It's 2-0.
Well, Paul Bunyan wasn't a superhero.
Nope.
He's more of a mythological type, but the Captain Caveman fit perfectly well with him. Just bringing out that wood club, bare hands, and go get them.
It's been a good night for Captain Caveman, 2 for 2, and doing a good job so far catching Charlie Morton, who's behind 2-0 to Nelson Cruz, who chops one foul. Good Friday night crowd once again. Strozone, as always, sold out. Tonight was an Alex Bregman t-shirt giveaway. Pitch misses from Charlie. It's 3-1. Ball 4 outside. Morton misses. That's his first walk of this game. Pushes Robinson Cano up to second base.
This is what we talked about. Be lights out for so many batters in a row, 10 before giving up that hit to Robinson Cano, and now the walk to Nelson Cruz, and you've got a guy in the box who's done a lot of damage this season against the Houston Astros.
Morton facing Kyle Seager, who grounded out his first time up. Starts him off with a breaking ball for a strike. It's 0-1. Seager 293 this year with 5 home runs against the Astros. Had 9 runs batted in that 4-game series that just concluded against the Rangers.
Fastball command is eluding Charlie in this inning.
Charlie gets a lot of ground balls, even though this year his lowest ground ball rate for him since 2010. Just 51% ground ball rate, but it's still 8th best amongst AL pitchers. He could use a ground ball here, try and get out of this first and second 1-out situation.
This little change of pace from Charlie Morton. Having a tough time getting that fastball over, and in the fastball count 2-1, he goes with the changeup.
That is a really well executed pitch at a big time for Charlie. So it's 2-2. First time through the lineup, little chopping double was the only guy that reached base, Gene Segura. Second time through the lineup, Charlie's fallen behind all 5 hitters. But he's back to even on Seager. And a curveball with a swing and a miss for a strikeout. First strikeout since the last out of the second inning. And his 6th overall.
Nicely done. Good sequence. Breaking ball in a great spot against a guy who's been swinging the bat well.
Man, that just has so much movement.
That was a really good view of it. See how he gets on. He's trying to get on top. Basically, physically, almost impossible to be that correct and be on top. It still creates a good swerve and downward break to it by getting that spin rate up, coming across it.
Now he'll face Yonder Alonso, who he struck out his first time. Alonso's 100th at bat as a Mariner, coming over from the Oakland A's. Batting average about the same with Oakland and Seattle. Had a little more power production with the A's. 22 of his 25 home runs coming with Oakland. Morton behind 2-0. But Charlie has fallen behind all 6 hitters, second time through the lineup. And his numbers, first time, second time, third time through the lineup, show a change as he moves along. He's always been most effective first time through the lineup. They used to have a bigger difference between those, first, second, and third. It's kind of sort of worked its way back towards a little closer differentiation. But that first time through, he dominated, and now just in some trouble here in the fourth.
I just wonder if sometimes he tries to be too fine with some of the pitches.
Curveball missed, says Tom Hallion. It's 3-0.
Wasn't perfectly located, but what I mean by trying to be too fine, all of a sudden I feel like sometimes Charlie will try and be on the black part of the plate as opposed to trying to miss in that inner third, outer third, staying away from the middle part of the plate because he has such good velocity and movement.
There's a strike. It's 3-1. Saw the updated batting averages, 194, and then it bumps up over 50 points second and third time through the lineup after a sub 200 average first time through. There's a called strike, and Charlie back in the count. It's now 3-2.
And there's a good piece of evidence saying that he can miss a spot and even at 95 still have a good enough heater in a 3-1 count to lock a guy up like Alonso.
On the ground foul. Charlie needed just 12 pitches to get through a 1-2-3 second. 12 pitches to get through a 1-2-3 third. Will make his 24th pitch with the next delivery in this inning. Astros fans try to get behind their right-hander with first and second, 2 outs in the fourth in a 4-0 game. Owen Cruz will once again be off with a pitch. High fly ball, right field. All the way out there is Marwin Gonzalez, and he will make the play in front of Josh Reddick for the final out. So the Mariners lead 2, and Charlie Morton leads 4-0. With the Astros commemorative Big Brick program, purchase a brick with customized messaging that will welcome fans into the ballpark each season. Order your brick now at astros.com/bricks. Astros coming to bat with a 4-0 lead in the bottom half of the fourth inning. Cameron Maybin will bat for the second time. He'll face Giovanni Gallardo, who pitched the third inning, allowing 3 hits and a run. Maybin flied out to right his first time up. Takes a called strike from the right-hander. It's 0-1. It'll be Maybin, then the top of the order, George Springer and Alex Bregman. Astros started the night with a magic number of 3 over the Angels, knowing that any win in this series would knock out both the Mariners and the Rangers from the division. And just watch what happens out west with the Angels taking on the Texas Rangers out in Anaheim. That game has not started yet. Ground ball toward short. Segura backhands, makes the throw, and Maven is retired for out number 1.
Our high velocity stat of the night is brought to you by Xfinity. A couple of bullets hitting this game off James Paxton. He's had a lot of success against the Astros in recent history, but not tonight. Carlos Correa with the first rocket to center field at 109.9 miles an hour off the bat. Then it was George Springer hitting that rocket to left center field at 109.4. A couple of guys with 109 plus miles per hour off the bat.
And those are the two guys, since coming back from the DL, we've seen glimpses, but we haven't seen that consistency that we saw in the first half of the season. If we see a solid homestand from Springer and Correa, all of a sudden momentum back in the Astros' favor. That one's off Gallardo and goes directly to the shortstop Segura. Springer hit it hard, and he hit it off the starting pitcher and resulted in a ground out. George is hitting some tough luck in this last.
Seriously, that was so disappointing. He hit it so hard that it ricocheted off Giovanni Gallardo to Segura with plenty of time to get George. If that does get past him, it would take a really good play by Cano to try and get George. You ready? 107.2 miles an hour off the bat.
Wow. He is dialed in tonight.
You know what Dave Hudgens just said to him?
Stay with it.
Terrible location.
George is saying, hey, I can't help it. I hit it as hard as I could.
Tried to hit it through him.
Never want to see George hit the ball hard and record an out, but some of my favorite moments, or one of my favorite moments, was George hitting a bullet right before Bregman hit about a 60-mile-an-hour flare into center field for a base hit, and George started screaming at him.
Yep.
You don't deserve that. See if Bregman can get a cheapie here. Alex has popped up a couple of times. He fouls one back. It's 1-2. It's a team that likes to have a lot of fun. There's no doubt. They have so many different personalities, and all the divergent personalities just somehow blend together. And I think you'll see them come out with a little celebration here in the next few games, whatever that might be. 1-2 pitch is on the corner. Bregman having a tough game so far. He wasn't sure about that call, but he goes down looking. And a 1-2-3 inning for Gallardo. Presented by Southwest. Yes to low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency. by the all-new 2017 Nissan Titan with America's best limited truck warranty. See dealer for warranty details. And by Jack in the Box. Come try the new really big chicken sandwich combo for just $3.99 for a limited time only. We head to the 5th inning with the Astros leading the Mariners 4-0 on a Friday night in downtown Houston. Charlie Morton back with a pitch to Mike Zunino that is sent high in the air towards the rafters, and it hits up there for a foul ball. Caught by Alex Bregman just in case. But it was ruled a foul ball. So a strike off the bat of Zunino. And A.J. Hinch is going to just say, are you sure that wasn't fair when it hit?
Well, it's interesting because that rafter that it hit runs along, it seems like runs along that left field foul line. And it was hit deep enough and bounced into fair territory. So I think that's what A.J. is asking. There's a good look at it. This beam right here runs along that foul left field foul line. And hitting off here and coming back into fair territory, and Alex Bregman making the catch. I think that's what A.J. is talking about.
I don't know if we have a view of it, but I was kind of watching it. It looked like it got through the initial beams and maybe hit one of the cross beams on the interior part of that beam that you drew, but maybe they'll see it differently. Nice play by Bregman either way. Carlos Correa's giving him a nice little talking to, say, hey, nice job staying with that. They have to have a definitive view that it was in fact in fair territory. I'm not sure if they're going to be able to accomplish that with that discussion.
Well, I think you, me, and all the fans here and everybody in the dugouts are the only ones that saw it go up into the rafters. I'm not too sure, or not too sure many of the camera shots that we could even find would see that ball going up into the rafters.
It just goes for a foul ball off the bat of Zunino.
An interesting one.
Yeah, AJ, it was worth the discussion for AJ.
It's his ballpark. You could probably go out there and manipulate the scoring a little bit. I don't know.
He is alert with limited rest.
Yes, he is.
I think we're all doing pretty well.
Oh, it's early.
We're in the 5th inning.
I see that wall coming up pretty quick, Bob. Just kidding.
0-2 pitch. Foul back. The team itself was told, normally you see guys here 2:30 for a 7 o'clock game. Team today was told, show up whenever you want to get ready for the game by 5 for a 7 o'clock start.
That is rare.
Yeah, that is very rare. No BP. Just get your rest. Come to the ballpark when you feel like you need to be ready to go for a 7-10 first pitch. And today was one of the later arrivals we've seen for the Astros, and so far so good. 4-0 as we play in the 5th. 1-2 pitch is a curveball that starts on Zunino's hip and ends up being a strike. Filthy. Called third strike for the 7th.
Trying to pound him in with the fastballs, set him up for this breaking ball. You can see him almost turn that front shoulder in a little bit, anticipating possible contact. By the time he does that, it's breaking back over the plate for a beautiful called third.
That just had so much plate too. It wasn't just on the inside corner. That was a well-executed pitch. Here's Ben Gamble. Gamble takes that 95-mile-an-hour fastball for a strike. It's 0-1. There's a line drive into right field for a base hit. Reddick is there to cut it off. Josh playing towards right center field anyhow before that base hit. So Gamble has a single to right. He's a 1-out base runner. See who's losing again tonight?
Not Cleveland?
Cleveland's losing.
What?
Yeah. They led early 1-0 and 3-1. But then single runs for the Royals in the 4th, 5th, and 6th, and they actually, the Indians trail 4-3 in the 8th inning. 22 wins in a row before tonight. Guillermo Heredia takes a strike. Heredia grounded out to third base his first time up. Grounds one foul. Heredia, one of those few players that bats right-handed only, yet throws left-handed. Ricky Henderson.
Jason Lane. That's all I got.
Mark Carrion going back.
Where are you pulling that from? My goodness.
I don't know. People that I remember that.
That's impressive.
Now I got to double check to make sure he was one of them. Oh, 2 pitches grounded towards third.
I believe you. I thought that was an impressive name to go get.
Well, there aren't many.
No.
There aren't many. And if you ask Ricky, there was only one.
Ricky. Ricky.
We saw Ricky in Oakland.
Ricky's good people.
Yeah, he is.
All they had to do was name the field after him to get him to show up.
That was nice of them.
That was perfect.
Just shows his ID and he's in.
Yep.
0-2 the count to Heredia. That breaking ball, and Heredia stays with it and bounces it foul. Charlie Morton working in the 5th inning. He has gone exactly 5 innings in 3 straight starts, but he has a pitch count right now of 76 despite 24 pitches in the 4th. Still in pretty good order tonight. That's into right field for a base hit. Inside out swing by Heredia will send Gamble first to third. Reddick's throw goes all the way through. That's a pretty good throw as Gamble slides in safely. Josh showing off the arm a little bit at right, made a play closer than it should have been.
Yeah, he had a long way to go too, but the ball bouncing up nicely to him. He decides to unleash. It's a good look at it from ground level.
Good carry.
Kind of like Correa throwing from left.
So now runners on the corners with 1 out and Gene Segura the batter. Segura a ground double and a ground out. He's 1 for 2. Astros started this season over 5 months ago with a series against the Seattle Mariners. Charlie Morton's first 2 starts of the season were against Seattle. Astros won the first 3 games of this season, including one in dramatic walk-off fashion, thanks to George Springer. Slowly hit towards Morton. Morton's going to go to second, and it's a low throw. Everybody's going to be safe. It was slowly hit. I'm not sure they would have had Segura in a double play. Morton goes to second, and his error will allow everybody to be safe and a run to score.
Just didn't set his feet, kind of spun around and yanked that throw in the dirt. He had the right idea, just didn't execute well enough. We've seen Charlie have some issues on becoming a defender after letting go of that baseball.
Ball in the dirt. It's 1-0. Fielder's choice error on Charlie Morton. No RBI credited as Ben Gamble scores the first run for the Mariners. 2 seamer for a swing and a miss. It's 1-1. We mentioned decisions need to be made. Charlie Morton, one of those guys that they need to make a decision with in terms of the postseason roster. A lot of starters to choose from, 6 in all, that are currently making starts or going to make starts, with McHugh and McCullers coming back from little injuries. And then Charlie Morton, see where he ends up in the mix. Brad Peacock's been very effective lately. We also know Justin Verlander, Dallas Keuchel going to be 1 and 1A in some sort of order. Keuchel, Verlander, or Verlander, Keuchel. And then you've got Peacock pitching very well. McCullers, McHugh, Morton. Some tough choices. Charlie has done tonight what we have seen at various points this season, where he has been lights out. One time through the lineup, and then second time through, it's not been as smooth. He's 2-2 on Haniger here.
For me, it's the McCullers-McHugh matchup that you need to try and figure out. Are they going to be healthy enough to pitch? Are they going to be healthy enough to pitch deep enough? McHugh, if that fingernail blister is fine, he'll be fine in the playoffs. He has pitched well down September, and he said that his mentality is that of pitching in the playoffs. Lance McCullers is the wild card. Is he healthy? Is he right? Is he stretched out?
We may see both of those guys pitch on Tuesday in the opening game against the White Sox.
Do they turn it into a piggyback situation?
Yeah, I think so. I think for that game. I don't know about beyond that.
That's the question, is beyond that. Are they stretched out well enough to be able to pull that off?
Tonight, you saw Lance in the dugout. McHugh's available out of the bullpen tonight. Breaking ball towards third. Bregman has it. 2 outs to Marwin for 1. The return double play. Marwin makes the turn on the ground ball to Alex Bregman. And Ground Chuck gets a big double play to get out of the 5th. It's a 4-1 game. It's 4-1. We head to the bottom half of the 5th inning. Good to be back here at Minute Maid Park. 3-game series against the Mariners. Final day off of the season coming up. That'll be on Monday, and then they continue the series with 3 against the White Sox and wrap it up, and wrap up the home schedule with 3 against the Los Angeles Angels next weekend. Jose Altuve, Carlos Correa, Marwin Gonzalez in the 5th inning against Yovani Gallardo. Gallardo allowed a run in his first inning of work, and Pitch through a 1-2-3-4. Altuve a single to center and a deep fly out to right. Takes a pitch of the knees for a ball. It's 1-1. Altuve now with 191 hits. Looking for his 57th multi-hit game of the year. Takes another one for a strike. It's 1-2. Altuve's third game as a DH this year. Altuve, Correa, and Bregman played both games of the doubleheader in Oakland. He's giving Jose a night off from the field, and he fouls one away. It's 2-2.
Basically playing a night-day doubleheader that noon start tomorrow.
Yeah, quick turnaround again after an early morning arrival today. In the air center field, Heredia is there. Altuve the first out of the fifth.
Join the Astros behind the scenes at Minute Maid Park with an Astros ballpark tour. The tour lets you check out areas like the broadcast booth, press box, dugouts, scoreboard control room, and more. Visit astros.com/tours to book your tour today.
Here's Carlos Correa. 2 for 2 nights so far to go along with George Springer, who's hit the ball hard his last 2 times up and has a walk. Good to see those guys back in the flow. Correa double and an infield hit, takes a breaking ball from Gallardo. Correa was the first batter Gallardo faced out of the bullpen. Carlos now 6 for 15 in his career against the Mariners right-hander. On the ground towards short. Segura has it. Correa retired for the second out. Two outs, bases empty. That'll bring up Marwin Gonzalez. Marwin grounded out his last time against Gallardo. 0 for 2 tonight. The Astros still have a chance, very good chance, to clinch the earliest point of the season in terms of number of games in their history. But it popped up. Pitcher Gallardo loves it for the last out. So Gallardo's retired 7 in a row.
looking for back-to-back wins. They got one in Anaheim last night with Brad Peacock on the mound. He was great once again, 1 earned run. Over 6 innings. You heard the guys talking about how big it was for him to get that final out in the 6th and be able to walk off on his own. Get a little bit deeper into the games. That's what he's been trying to get a little bit better at this point of the season. It's been bugging him here recently that he hasn't been able to go 3 times through that order and be strong about it. So good for him to be able to do that last night. Good for us to be able to see Peacock continue to do what he's done for this team all year. An important puzzle piece in all of this. And where does he fit in? Well, AJ told me earlier in our covering all the bases that do not count Peacock out of all of this. Like I said, very important piece, and AJ knows it. AJ's been watching it from day one. They had a big decision to make on this guy in spring training, and since he's been on this roster, on this team, he's a big reason why they are in the position that they are right now, TK.
This ball is hit hard to right field, and Reddick looks up. It is off the wall. Reddick plays it quickly and will hold Robinson Cano to a single. Cano didn't miss a home run by much. Instead ends up with a single to right.
Ball hit well by Robinson, but a great play by Josh Reddick. Likes hitting here, also knows how to play that right field wall pretty good.
We've mentioned Morton has gone exactly 5 innings in 3 consecutive starts. A.J. Hinch, with that pitch count nearing 90, has double barrel action going. Will Harris and Francisco Liriano. But he will not keep Morton in a lengthy inning here after a leadoff single by Robinson Cano. He misses to Nelson Cruz. It's 1-0. .24 and 22 pitches the last couple of innings. Breaking ball misses in. And he's behind Cruz 2-0. Dangerous to keep working behind these hitters. Morton started out first time through the lineup. He was ahead of almost everybody. Not so much second and third time through. Ground ball toward short. Correa to Marwin. Gonzalez with an easy turn. The sidearm throw for the double play. Just when Morton gets in trouble, he's able to dial up a ground ball and gets a double play for the 2nd straight inning.
Ground Chuck with the standard 6-4-3 double play to help himself out and keep base runners off the base paths. One-hand pick we see consistently from Carlos.
That'll bring up Kyle Seager with 2 outs and the bases cleared. I think if Cruz had reached, that might have been the last batter for Charlie Morton, because we saw Francisco Liriano go one batter twice in Seattle, and both times it was Kyle Seager.
I agree. It's kind of what AJ is molding Liriano into, is that left-handed specialist to get that tough left-hander out. Did a good job back in Seattle against Kyle Seager, but with nobody on, he's going to let Charlie try and ride this thing out.
.0 pitch catches the corner. It's 1-1. Morton with 6 strikeouts. He's allowed 5 hits. And he's also walked 1 tonight. 7 strikeouts. He struck out Zunino to start the 5th inning for his 7th strikeout. This is outside. It's 2-1. Morton making his 23rd start of the year. In his career, which began in 2008, he has never made 30 starts in a season. His career high is 29 in 2011. 23 starts matches his 2015 season as his 3rd highest start total. Already has a career high in wins and strikeouts, up to 154 strikeouts on the season. and 11 wins in 22 starts. Seager fouls one the other way. It's 3-2. Morton threw a lot of pitches in his last start. Most all season, 110. So AJ may not have that threshold as close to 110 as other starts. This could be his final inning in the 3-2 count. He's thrown 95 pitches tonight. On the ground towards first. Tyler White has it, takes it himself, and that'll do it for the Mariners. A leadoff hit, wiped out by a double play, and then an inning-ending ground out. We head to the bottom of the 6th in a 4-1 game. Astros lead the Mariners 4-1. 3 runs in the first inning, another run in the third. Giovanni Gallardo has settled things in for the M's with 3 innings of 1-run baseball. He's retired the last 7 as he faces Evan Gattis, Josh Reddick, and Tyler White in the bottom half of the 6th inning. Gattis having a good night tonight. A single, RBI, and a double down the line. Evan came in battling an 0 for 15. Good to see Evan with a couple of quality ABs. Some fans voting for him as the write-in candidate in our superhero weekend as Captain Caveman. Grabs a bat, no pine tar. It's like Captain Caveman used to grab that glove and hit things as hard as he possibly could.
Yeah, he's using maple syrup instead of pine tar.
Evan doubled against Gallardo in the 3rd inning and would score a run. Counts 2-0. Coming into this season, A.J. Hinch knew it would be a challenge trying to find enough at bats for Evan Gattis, especially coming off the year he just had. And Evan spending some time in August and early September on the DL. Coming in with 259 ABs. This was after a season where he hit 32 home runs and 447 at bats. When you acquire a Brian McCann and a Carlos Beltran, those are some at bats that Evan Gattis saw go away, and Evan takes one up and in for ball 4.
It is time to play, and it is presented by Toyota. Since June 6th, yes, since June 6th, Jose Altuve is hitting .363. Right behind him is Josh Reddick at .347. Just to give you an idea of how well Josh's season's going. only trailing the league's leading hitter in Jose Altuve. There's a lot of guys around the league that'd be happy to have that as their on-base percentage, but those are batting averages for these guys.
Plus, Josh hitting .345 at home, .354 at Minute Maid Park, and they don't balance because there were some home games where it played at Tropicana Field. .326 against lefties, and yet AJ bats him 7th. What is going on?
Hey, you don't like it, play better.
Oh, by the way, he rakes against Yovani Gallardo. He's 8 for 15. There's a strike. It's 1-1. Yeah, Josh is having one of those years. He's one of those players that will endear you to your home fans quickly because of the way he plays, and then he's just having one of those years where he has gotten better as the season has gone along. He's putting up numbers that are the best of his career. Playing a really good outfield. Having a lot of fun along the way. Getting fans wooing at every ballpark in this American League.
That's just wonderful.
One thing we've noticed is fans will travel, and even if they are living in that area, they will carry that Wooston tag with them when Reddick plays on the road, and there's a fly ball in the right field, so Reddick is retired for the first out of the 6th inning.
Yeah, he has created a pretty strong fan base around the league with the woos.
Josh retired there. He's now 1 for 2, and that'll bring up Tyler White. White has flied to center and popped up, giving Yuli Gurriel a night off. Yuli's still nursing a little bit of a sore knee. See him not quite running 100% on that recent road trip. First pitch to Tyler misses. It's ball 1. One of the nice things for Scott Service, having a starter who's moved to the bullpen, and Yovani Gallardo, he can have a starter go just an inning and a third as he had with James Paxton, and know he's got a guy like Gallardo who can chew up innings out of the bullpen and save some arms out there.
He's done a very good job at that. So far, 3 1/3, only giving up 1 run.
He has been a much better pitcher since going to the bullpen. Different role, but similar results as the Astros' Joe Musgrove. There's a called strike. It's 1-2. Gallardo strikes out Tyler White. That is strikeout number 2. Oh, check that. 1-2 the count. Actually, it's 2-2. Scoreboard had it 1-2, and it was 2-1. White chops one off the plate. Cano comes in. White hustling down the line. He's just out by less than a stride as Cano makes the sidearm throw for out number 2. On the play, Evan Gattis moves to second. Houston Astros have set up a website so that all fans can help raise much needed funds for Hurricane Harvey relief. Visit youcaring.com/AstrosHarvey to donate today. Runner on second with 2 outs, and Cameron Maybin will bat. Maybin is flied out and grounded out. Will Harris continues to throw in the Astros bullpen, so if Morton's night is over, Will Harris will get the 7th inning. 2-1 the count. Mentioned the Astros record against the AL West this year. They have a winning record against all 4 divisional opponents. They have wrapped up their season series against the A's despite being swept in Oakland on that last road trip. They won 12 of 19 against Oakland. Still have games remaining against the other 3. They are 11-5 against Seattle, 10-6 against the Angels, and 9-7 against the Texas Rangers. Rangers and Angels are underway out in Anaheim. We'll keep an eye on that game as it impacts when the Astros can clinch the American League West. Ground ball towards the middle. That's going to go through into center field. Gaddis being waved home. Heredia's throw is not in time. RBI single by Cam Maben, and the Astros add to their lead. It's 5-1.
Cam contributing again. Big 2-out RBI for Cam. Could have thought about getting big and trying to launch it out of the ballpark, but does a good job staying back up the big part of the field, which is up the middle where nobody is. Drive in that 2-out RBI. Evan Gaddis off at the swing. Scores easy.
Only 12 at bats here at Minute Maid Park as an Astro for Cameron Maben, and he has 5 runs batted in. Here's George Springer. Springer has hit the ball extremely hard his last 2 times up. Also has drawn a walk and scored a run. Last time up, he hit a ball off Giovanni Gallardo that deflected all the way to the shortstop Gene Segura, who was able to record an out. Two and 0. There's Will Harris. He should come into the 7th inning of this game. Charlie Morton, 6 innings of 5-hit, 1-run baseball tonight. 3-0 the count. Springer with a team leading 31 home runs on the season. His last coming here at Minute Maid Park on September 3rd.
It's over.
The streak is over. 22-game winning streak has been ended by the Kansas City Royals. There goes Maben on the 3-0 pitch. It's a strike, and Maben head first slide. He is safe. Maben ties Jose Altuve, his teammate, for the American League lead with his 31st steal of the year.
Good job by Cameron Maben. Gallardo not focusing on him in that 3-0 count, trying to throw a strike to George Springer.
Outside, ball 4. Springer on base for the 3rd time tonight. And the Astros have 1st and 2nd with 2 outs for Alex Bregman. Bregman takes a look at the Mariners dugout and realizes Scott Service is heading out for a new pitcher. Service makes the call to the bullpen. We'll tell you about the new Mariners reliever in this 5-1 game in the bottom half of the 6th inning when we come back.
Astros out in front. Mariners, they're trailing now, but these are all big games for Seattle. Here are the current AL wildcard standings. You see Seattle 3.5 games back from Minnesota for that second spot. Minnesota's trailing in tonight's game. The Angels just getting started in Anaheim with the Rangers. We're going to keep you updated on all those scores, but certainly Seattle keeping an eye on what's going on every single night as they are still in this. And Scott Service even told his club a couple of days ago, this is actually before their 3-game win streak they went on, he had a team meeting and said, remember guys, we've been here before. It's come down to the end before. We've lost on the last day of the season or the second to the last day of the season. So you never know how things are going to go as long as you're still in the mix. We're still in the mix. So don't let today's loss be the loss that keeps us out of the postseason. That's the mindset these guys have going in every single day. He also told the team he's going to manage that way too. If you're on the mound and you're not getting the job done, he is going to pull you. So that was the message that he had for his club, and they've got that mindset moving forward, guys.
Yeah, a good bounce back in that series against the Rangers after losing the opening game to win the next 3, as Alex Bregman will bat with 2 on and 2 outs in the bottom of the 6th, facing the right-hander Dan Altavilla, who takes over for Yovani Gallardo. Gallardo giving them 3 2/3 innings.
Somebody didn't tell him which way to throw it. 36 appearances now for Altavilla. He has faced the Astros 8 times, throwing 8 1/3 innings, giving up 10 hits and 3 earned runs.
Facing Alex Bregman, see if Alex can get things going. He has popped up a couple of times and struck out. Alex with a 7-game hitting streak on the line. Astros have done a good job tonight with runners in scoring position. They are 5 for 9. They've been in scoring position. Springer on first with 2 outs. 95-mile-an-hour fastball rides high. It's 1-1. Astros opened this game with a 3-run first inning. Added a run in the 3rd. The Mariners scored their lone run in the 5th. Now Cameron Maben RBI single, making it a 5-1 game in the 6th inning. One and 2 the count. Vila likes that slider to right-hand hitters that he just showed to Alex Bregman. And he gets him swinging for the final out of the inning. Another slider as he picks up a strikeout to end the 6th. 5-1 Astros.
Park, 5-1 Astros, and now time for AARP's Getting to Know. You're getting to know George Springer and his family and what they have done to help all those who suffered some devastation from Hurricane Harvey, all those around Houston and the surrounding areas. Springer immediately went to his family. They put their heads together and came up with a pack the truck idea, but this was going to take place in New Britain, Connecticut, where they are from, where his family lives. So at New Britain Stadium, they told people to bring stuff that they could donate and give, supplies of food, clothing, you name it. Well, they packed a few trucks full, 3 to be exact. So the first one arriving today, you saw Springer there talking to the media about what that means to him and his family, of course, to help, but just being able to put that together and get it down here. And then 2 more trucks are coming tomorrow. So an incredible job by the Springers, helping all the way from Connecticut. We know they're watching tonight. We're sad that they can't be with us. We enjoy when the Springers are around. But George continuing to do great things for his community, guys.
Yeah, great stuff, Julia. George and his family deserve big kudos and a tip of the cap. That's great work.
No, they are great. They're great people, great work. Giving back to the community. That was great to see. Good job by George and family.
Ground ball to Tyler White. The new pitcher, Will Harris, covering first base. And Yonder Alonso is retired for the first out of the 7th inning.
Will's another guy who throws a baseball for the Houston Astros, trying to round into shape after spending some time on the disabled list. Last time he threw was on the 10th back in Oakland, going 2/3 of an inning. He had 1 walk, 1 punch out, threw 20 pitches.
He was one of the only guys that came through that Oakland series out of the bullpen unscathed, facing Mike Zunino. Up and into Zunino, it's 1-0. Charlie Morton, a solid 6 innings tonight, a 5-hit, 1-run baseball. At one point, Charlie retired 10 in a row. Had a little more traffic on the bases the last 3 innings, but was able to work through that with a couple of double plays. Zunino fouls one back. It's 1-1. Charlie ended up throwing 96 pitches after a season-high 110. And anytime you hold the Mariners, an offense that had just scored 28 runs in the last 3 games, down to a run in 6 innings, it's good work overall.
Kind of a big deal.
1-1 pitch, grounded deep in the hole. Correa can't gather it up. Zunino on with a base hit. Carlos knew he had a shot with Zunino running, but just beyond his glove for a hit to left.
Shift was on. Zunino hit it hard. Carlos upset with himself, unable to come up with that one.
Now Harris will face Ben Gamel. Gamel taking a called strike. Gamel singled and scored the Mariners' only run. He also flied out to center field. Julia last inning talked about the sense of urgency with this Mariners team that has been sitting right around 500 since the All-Star break. Mariners and the Angels and the Rangers all looking up at the Minnesota Twins, who had that 3-1 lead earlier tonight, but now trail 4-3 to Toronto. One thing that the M's and the other teams chasing the Twins have going for them is Minnesota still plays a 3-game series on the road against the Yankees, and also a 3-game set on the road against the Cleveland Indians.
Well, now's the time to play them.
The Indians?
Yeah, they just lost.
Line drive past Will Harris into center field for a hit. Zunino's going first to third. Springer's throw comes back to second. Ben Gamel has his second hit tonight. Back-to-back base hits for the Mariners.
Watch the drive to the pennant with MLB.tv every night on every device. Get every out-of-market regular season game live, plus a free subscription to @Bat Premium, the #1 app for live baseball. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.tv for details.
So now Harris will face Guillermo Heredia with 2 on and 1 out. Astros playing at double play depth. Heredia 1 for 2 with a single. Takes a called strike. Eighth inning. Blue Jays lead Minnesota 4-3. Rangers and Angels just underway. Bud Norris against Nick Martinez. Norris getting a start tonight for the Angels. Had been working out of their bullpen. Foul back, it's 0-2. People mentioned Mike Hampton on Twitter after he talked about the right-hand hitting, left-hand throwers. A lot more pitchers.
They don't count.
They don't count. Okay.
Yeah.
We did see Cody Ross's name.
It's a good one. It's a really good one.
Ryan Ludwig. Heredia hits righty only. Left-hand thrower down 0-2, and he chases one there out of the zone. Will Harris comes back with a strikeout after a couple of base hits. And there's 2 outs in the 7th.
Thank you very much. Heredia getting aggressive with that runner at third base, going up and out of the zone on that cut fastball. It's a natural delivery for Will Harris. That's how he creates that slight little side spin that creates that late cut on his fastball.
So now Harris will face Gene Segura. Segura last time up hit into a fielder's choice, ended up with an RBI out of it. He's 1 for 3. Strike call. Astros and Mariners continue this weekend series with day games tomorrow, 12:05. Then on Sunday, back to a 1:10 start. Dallas Keuchel tomorrow. Justin Verlander on Sunday. Will Harris ahead of the count, 1-2 on Segura. Into left field, base hit for Segura. That'll drive in a run. He now has both runs batted in for the Mariners tonight. A 2-out single to make it a 5-2 game.
Segura's one of those guys that refuses to give in on ABs, but they've got a little bit of a reverse shift being played on him, with Carlos Correa playing closer to up the middle than to that pull side. Opens up that shortstop area for the ground ball to be a base hit.
Well, Harris turned his head initially thinking maybe a play was to be made, but Correa, as you said, was up the middle. So Segura with an RBI. He now has 44 on the year. And Brent Strom, the pitching coach, out to talk to Will Harris. Luke Gregerson warming up in the Astros bullpen. We saw Francisco Liriano earlier, and he has just raced back out there to start to warm up again, as the Astros have a righty and a lefty loosening up. Harris trying to get through the 7th. 3 hits in the inning for Seattle, all singles, and Nino, Gamble, and Segura. Harris 1-0 to Mitch Haniger. Now it's 2-0. Robinson Cano waits on deck.
We're not privy to every conversation that goes on in that Astros dugout and in amongst coaches and things like that. But when you see have a guy like Will Harris coming back off the DL who pitches in the 93, 94, 95 area consistently with that cut fastball, I wonder if there's any concern that we're seeing 89 to 91 out of that right arm of Will Harris.
Last pitch at 90. It's 2-1.
Saw the same thing with James Paxton. He did not have his velocity back. It's been a couple of appearances for Will Harris since he's come off the DL.
There's a good breaking ball as he drops the curve in for a strike. It's 2-2. Astros fans looking for that final out, making some noise.
Nasty break on that curveball. It's been primarily fastballs from Will Harris in this inning.
Curveball misses low, 3-2. So Gamble and Segura will be off with 2 outs.
Breaking balls are a tough pitch to get called down in that part of the zone just because they continue to break down.
Towards the middle, Correa has it. He'll make the play to first, and Haniger retired for the final out. 1 run allowed in the inning on 3 hits, but the Astros maintain their lead. 7th inning stretch time at Minute Maid Park. The Astros lead this game 5-2. And we will keep it right here and allow you to enjoy a rendition of God Bless America.
On this Military Appreciation Night here at Minute Maid Park, we kindly ask that you please rise and join us as we salute those serving and protecting our freedom around the world. Please welcome Melissa Saldivar from the Houston Police Department for God Bless America.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountains to the prairies to the oceans white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home.
5-2 lead over the Mariners. And we are coming up on an anniversary. 2014, tomorrow, Jose Altuve comes up with a hit in the 5th inning for 2-10. But in the 7th inning, there's 2-10 right there as he saluted Biggio. He tied Biggio right there as the club leader for hits in a single season. Then he ended up breaking it in the 7th inning with his 211th hit of the year. Standing ovation from the crowd obviously came after that. He finished the year with 225 and his first batting title. Biggio told him after the game, congrats, and keep swinging it. It's really fun to watch these two as they talk a lot. Biggio's around a lot, and you usually see Biggio holding Altuve's bat at some point. But Altuve said great things about Biggio and Bagwell, saying these guys are so good to him. He gets so much support from the Astros legends. Todd.
Yeah, it's great to see everybody so tight-knit, past, present, players in Astros history. Altuve and Biggio ride alone as the only two Astros ever with a 200-hit season, and now Altuve trying to do it for a 4th consecutive year. And Altavilla was tough on him in that at-bat, striking him out on 3 pitches. Altuve now is 1 for 4 tonight. He's the first out of the 7th inning.
Some good sliders. Did you notice who was pitching in that video that he was getting all the hits off of? Corey Kluber.
Was it Kluber?
Yep.
Wow.
Just saying. Future reference, maybe. I don't know.
Hey. See where you're going there.
Yeah.
Here's Carlos Correa. Correa with a couple of hits and 3 at-bats, including an RBI double. Gets under this one and pops it foul. And into the crowd. Kluber and the Indians, a 22-game winning streak, snapped tonight by the Kansas City Royals. A sold-out crowd at Progressive Field in Cleveland, giving the team a standing ovation at the end of that game. And well deserved. That is a run we may never see again in our lifetime. Longest American League winning streak. 2nd longest streak in the history of baseball. Maybe the longest if you don't count ties. Fly ball to center field. Heredia's there. 2 away.
They are now 15-1 in September. Yeah.
Their magic number coming in with that 22-game winning streak was the same as the Astros. They were both at 3 before tonight, so Cleveland will not move that number now, although they could have that number reduced if the Minnesota Twins fail to come back, and they are down 4-3 in the 9th at home to Toronto. Here's Marwin Gonzalez. Takes the pitch down low. It's 1-0. Marwin looking for his first hit. Batting left-handed for the 3rd time tonight. Flied out right-handed his first time up, and lefty he has grounded out and tried to bunt for a hit and popped it up. Fastball from Altavilla for a strike. It's 1-1. Charlie Morton pitched well tonight. 6 innings, 1 run. And you've got Keuchel and Verlander the rest of the way in this series. No, the Astros simply did not play well in that 4-game set in Oakland. But in terms of timing, Seattle on that most recent series at Safeco Field had Keuchel, Verlander, McCullers, and now they had a 6-inning performance by Charlie Morton with 1 run, and they get Keuchel and Verlander again.
Hey, welcome to the American League West.
Timing's everything.
It is.
And the Mariners getting the bad timing in the Astros rotation. And it's 2-2 to Marwin Gonzalez. We should know more about Lance in the next day or so as he works back. A little arm fatigue. Right now the plan is Lance and Colin McHugh possibly will both see action in that first game against the White Sox on Tuesday. 2-2 pitch. Marwin fouls it away. There is Lance. It'll be good to see him get back on the mound here at Minute Maid Park. Made one start since coming back. That came against the Mariners, wrapping up that 3-game series. Altavilla nasty in his 4 batters he has faced. He has struck out 3 in a 1-2-3-7. DeMontron Auto Group. James Paxton coming back from the DL after not pitching for 5 weeks and a day. Goes an inning and a third. He allowed 3 first-inning runs before he left the game in the second. That tied his shortest outing of his career. Astros have done a good job with 5 hits with runners in scoring position. Seattle is 1 for 10 with runners in scoring position. And Charlie Morton, very good outing tonight.
It's good to see. We're starting to see guys like Springer, Correa start to hit the ball, hit the baseball extremely hard.
Captain Caveman with 2 hits and a walk. As the Astros will go to Francisco Liriano as he takes over here, facing probably 3 hitters as Cano is due up and Seager's due up third.
See if they can get the left-hander through this inning, facing the big 3 for the Seattle Mariners. Picked up his 3rd hold of the season, throwing 5 pitches back in Anaheim, going a 1/3 of an inning.
Actually could face 4 hitters because Alonso bats behind Seager. So 3 of the next 4 hitters.
So let's stay positive, Todd. 3 hitters. Get through this inning.
And then we'll regroup.
Yes. If we get to that point, then we can talk about the 4th.
0-1 to Cano. On the ground foul. It's 0-2. We've seen Liriano out for just 1 hitter in both of the games in Seattle. That hitter was Kyle Seager. He retired him both times. Astros in the outfield shade Cano a little bit the other way. On the infield on the left side, they shade him to pull. 0-2. And he gets him with a good slider. 3-pitch strikeout. Liriano getting Robinson Cano.
It's good to see from Francisco Liriano. That slider down and away. Pretty nasty pitch. Really extending out there to get that nice sharp late break on the slider. That was a great pitch.
That's what the Astros envisioned when they made the deal. Him facing a guy like Robinson Cano and making him look bad on a 3-pitch strikeout. Now it's Nelson Cruz. Cruz takes a fastball on the edge for a strike. It's 0-1.
these may not be crucial situations in the sense of how they affect the game, but as far as how they affect Liriano's mind is probably what means more. If he's able to work through this inning in relatively efficient fashion, that would be a great deal of help to his confidence.
Cruz 0 for 2, strike out a walk and grounded into a double play. And he's ahead of Nelson 1 and 2.
Look at the changeup.
He pulled the string on him. How about that?
Wiffle ball. Coming at you at 95. Nope. Pull the string with depth.
Charlie Morton pitched 6 innings. Will Harris pitched the 7th. And now Francisco Liriano with nobody warming in the Astros bullpen in the 8th. Called third strike. He froze Cruz on a fastball in the inner half. Back-to-back strikeouts for Liriano against Robinson Cano and Nelson Cruz. Now it's time for the Unlimited Baseball break, brought to you by T-Mobile.
Some striking similarities between the 1998 Houston Astros and the 2017 Houston Astros, except for a little bit of a section down here in the pitching. Offense is very similar. Remember, Randy Johnson added to that roster late in the season, but the starting ERA and that bullpen ERA considerably better than what the Astros are working with.
Oh, 0-1 to Kyle Seager. Slider 0-2. Francisco Liriano striking out Robinson Cano, striking out Nelson Cruz, and now he's 0-2 on Kyle Seager. One and two. He got him. Liriano with his best inning as an Astro. Strikes out Cano, Cruz, Seager as we head to the bottom half of the 8th in a 5-2 game.
Francisco Liriano rounding into form, finding that release point. A couple of good sliders in this inning.
It is time to reveal the results of today's Chevy Stropel Superhero Weekend. We asked you which Astros player embodies their inner superhero the most. Look at this. We have a tie. Josh Reddick with Spider-Man and George Springer with Superman, 45%. Oh, Lance only getting 4%. Guys, the giveaway tomorrow.
Oh, boy.
That was me trying to be a superhero, and I just made it really awkward. But
no, you're a superhero.
this is the giveaway tomorrow. It's a cape.
All right. Next time you go running, you need to wear that.
I'm gonna wear. I should have had this for my race for the freeze.
Oh, yeah.
The cape would, yeah, if the cape was flying behind you, it would be better if you were running.
Oh,
What
boy.
are superhero poses? I'm trying to remember. This is the only one I know.
Well, you just did another one. That was good.
Superman.
Yeah. Thought that was a super dab.
Okay.
Any more?
No.
Okay. That's all you got. Evan Gaddis taking a pitch for a ball to start the bottom half of the 8th inning. Superhero capes tomorrow or Sunday. When, did I just mess that up?
It's whatever day you want, Todd.
Okay. Tomorrow. Sorry, it's tomorrow. I was right the first time.
60% of the time, you're right every time.
Yes. So tomorrow's big, like Springer bobblehead,
Capes.
all kinds of stuff going on.
I'm going to come as the invisible man.
No, you're not.
You're right. I'm just not going to be here. Stay with me, man.
I was with you.
Gosh.
I forgot we weren't televising tomorrow for a split second.
That's what
There was like a momentarily blip there where I was like, what are you talking? Could be a clinch tomorrow. 2-1 pitch to Evan Gaddis. Hard hit. Evans had a nice game, even though he's going to be retired here. Hit the ball hard against the new pitcher, Casey Lawrence, but he's retired for the first out. Good to see Evan having some better at-bats tonight.
Gosh, he desperately needed it, too. A lot of these guys have spent some time on the DL. It's good to see them get in, make some good pitches, swing the bats well.
He just caught the best inning we've seen out of Francisco Liriano in the 8th. Liriano striking out the 3, 4, 5 hitters, Cano, Cruz, and Seager. Looks like Ken Giles will come on for the 9th inning, but that was a great sign for the Astros to see Liriano do his thing in the 8th. Josh Reddick 1 for 2 with a walk. Both teams with 8 hits. Astros leading 5-2. It's going to be a big bullpen day for Mike Scioscia and the Angels as Bud Norris started and went 2 innings. Jose Alvarez pitching the 3rd. They are scoreless at Anaheim, Texas, and LA as they head to the 4th. Outside it's 3-1.
I think Mike Scioscia was chomping at the bit to have a bullpen day after what his pitching staff did against the Houston Astros. They went a little deeper than he anticipated, I bet.
Reddick draws the walk. Houston Astros baseball on AT&T Sportsnet is presented by Southwest. Yes to low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency. And by Toyota. Let's go places. 1 out walk to Reddick, and now Tyler White looking for his first hit tonight will bat. White facing the right-hander Casey Lawrence, who was claimed off waivers from the Toronto Blue Jays back in early May. This is the breaking ball. It's 0-1. If the Astros hold on to win tonight and the Angels lose, it would set up a potential clinch tomorrow afternoon. The magic number could be whittled down to 1. A.J. Hinch has said with a night game tomorrow night on the West Coast between the Angels and the Rangers, that if they need a result to happen in that late game, way too much time to sit around, so they will just potentially wait if things go well and they're able to clinch based on a result in Anaheim. They'll wait till Sunday.
Seriously, no team slumber party?
Unless there's an impromptu one. With the runner on the move, White just reaches out and serves one into center field past Robbie Cano, who was covering. That worked out well. Reddick on the move, and White with a hit-and-run base hit.
You know what that is? That is delicious. Salvage, as Brad Ausmus would say. Runner on the move. Second baseman vacating. Rear end goes one way, the bat goes the other, and you end up with a hit. That is beautiful. It's going to sound crazy, but those are little things that managers will look at and see you able to perform and might go a little bit further as far as whether or not you are included on a playoff roster. Just saying.
No, and let's be honest, now that Jake Marisnick is injured, there is going to be an extra spot available that wasn't there before.
Well, and depending on how many pitchers they carry, because it's going to be a condensed series, that first series.
I would say between a Tony Kemp, a Derek Fisher, a Tyler White, there is opportunity. And how things go the last 2 weeks plus.
Let's just say they clinch their playoff berth, which they will, and they're forced to play the Boston Red Sox. A couple of tough left-handed pitchers. Maybe a right-handed Tyler White is a guy that plays into that mix, because Cameron Maybin, a right-handed hitter, is going to get some playing time, like you said, with Jake Marisnick on the shelf.
Yeah, there's going to be, it's certainly a roster that's going to be a work in progress as AJ tries to wrap up those final 2 or 3 spots. There definitely are some spots up in the air for the final 25. Cameron Maybin checks his swing and fouls it off. And you can alter your roster series to series, so you can match things up, as you mentioned, with the Red Sox, where you may want another righty stick on your bench. Maybin has an RBI. Drove in the 5th run of the game with a single his last time up. Seattle is back as Maybin strikes out for the 2nd out of the inning. The nice thing is, here we are with 2 weeks and 3 days left in the regular season, and we're talking about the postseason, because
I love it.
As well as the Astros played leading into the All-Star break, they put themselves in a great position to wrap things up early.
They have, and that's what allows us to have the joy in looking at this roster and trying to figure out matchups, who they could play well against. And, you know, that's part of being in the armchair GM.
And you also have the ability, if you wrap things up early, to set up exactly who you want starting in what games.
Yeah, the rotation is going to be something that AJ is going to be able to manipulate now that he has 1A, 1B, as far as Justin Verlander, Dallas Keuchel. Give him some time also to see what Colin McHugh and Lance McCullers are going to bring to the table, because I think Brad Peacock has done enough for me to be considered a part of that rotation in the playoffs.
It's hard to argue with you, and I would agree. It's watching Peacock 13 out of 16 games allow 2 earned runs or less, and in 11 of those allow 1 earned run or less. Hard to see that guy not be in the rotation. I'm not sure who the odd man out or 2 might be, but right now it's hard to imagine Brad Peacock not being somewhere in those first 4 spots.
Yeah, he's done a good job pitching in deep into ball games. Doing a good job of shortening that bullpen.
2-0 to George Springer. That's a strike on the corner. It's 2-1.
But again, if you have the ability to throw Brad Peacock a little more frequently out of that bullpen, do you?
It's a good problem to have. I think right now his value is as strong as a starter as it could be in any role in that bullpen.
Yeah.
3-1. You saw Francis Marquez beginning to warm up. If the Astros extend this lead, they may give Ken Giles a little breather and bring in Marquez. If it's a safe situation, you would think it would be Giles. But right now, Marquez loosening up as well. Springer should get a pitch here at 3-1.
Barreled up a couple already in this ball game. Why not do it again here?
They're starting to see some really good swings tonight out of George Springer. See if he has one more here in a hitter's count. 31 home runs on the year. Does not get a pitch to hit, draws a walk. Bases will be loaded. Bases are loaded for Alex Bregman, who is trying to extend a hitting streak. Bregman has hit in 7 straight games, but tonight 0 for 4, a couple of pop-ups and a couple of strikeouts. Alex's first home run of the season was a grand slam. Series in May in New York. Big swing, no contact, 0-1.
That'll be the first swing we've seen from Alex Bregman in the last 2.5 months where he's actually been off balance.
And he takes a pitch for a strike. It's 0-2. Josh Reddick on base for the 3rd time tonight. He's at third. Tyler White at second base. George Springer on base for the 4th time tonight with 3 walks and a double is on first base. Picked by Zunino on a pitch in the dirt. It's 1-2.
Great pick considering there's a run 90 feet away.
Lawrence has allowed 8 home runs this year, 37 innings of work with the Mariners in 19 games, and now meeting at the mound. "24 pitches already thrown in this inning, half are strikes." And he got Bregman. Astros leave the bases loaded in the bottom half of the 8th inning. It is a save situation at 5-2, so Ken Giles will be on looking for another save.
2001 Houston Astros. Lance Berkman going deep to extend that series. In the National League Central, the Astros needed to beat the Cardinals to get into that postseason. Along with the tying home run, Lance doubling in the winning run. Then the final game of the series Sunday, the Astros put it to Darryl Kyle, who put themselves into that postseason, and then champagne for everyone. OD. Octavio Dotel, one of the best.
Hoping to recreate that scene shortly as Ken Giles trying to wrap up this game and reduce the magic number down to 2. Giles on for the 9th inning.
3 for 3 in saves versus Seattle this year. Did a good job on that last road trip.
Picked up his 30th save in that game where Justin Verlander went 8 innings of one-hit baseball. Max Stassi will catch Giles in the 9th inning in this 5-2 game. Giles will face 6, 7, and 8 in the Mariners lineup. Yonder Alonso, Mike Zunino, and Ben Gamel. Charlie Morton went 6 innings, allowed 1 run. Will Harris pitched the 7th. Francisco Liriano had his most impressive outing as an Astro, striking out Robinson Cano, Nelson Cruz, and Kyle Seager in an 11-pitch 8th inning. And now Giles on for the save in the 9th. 2-1 the count. A win tonight would eliminate both the Mariners and the Rangers from a division possibility in the AL West. It would only leave the Angels as the only team alive, and that would reduce the number against the Angels down to 2 for clinching the division. Astros looking for their first division title in 16 years. 2-1 pitch is popped way up in the air. Center fielder George Springer calls everybody off and puts it away for out number 1. If the Mariners lose tonight, they will not lose any ground in the wild card picture because the Minnesota Twins lost 4-3 at home to Toronto this evening. Mariners coming in 3.5 games back with 2.5 weeks to play. Zunino singled and scored a run his last time up. Hit well into left center field, and this ball is off the fence. Mike Zunino continues to hit well. He has a 1-out double. He's 2 for 4 tonight. Zunino hitting over 350 his last 29 games.
There's one guy in the big leagues, and we watch Zunino a lot because he's in the American League West, but for me, this guy is sitting dead red every single time he steps into the box. And if he gets a first pitch fastball, he is going to ambush.
That was the first time he put a ball in play against Ken Giles. He had been 0 for 3 with 3 strikeouts, but he was able to rocket one off the fence in left center field. And here's Ben Gamel. Gamel takes a slider for a strike at 0-1. Gamel has a couple of hits and a run scored. Broken bat towards second. Marlon Gonzalez makes the play. Zunino crosses over to third, but now the Astros 1 out away from a series opening victory. Guillermo Heredia was due up, but the Mariners going to a pinch hitter. Daniel Vogelbach will pinch hit. Giles looking for save number 31. Slider swing and a miss, 0-1. Angels with an early lead in their game, 1-0 against the Rangers. Catches the corner with the slider, 0-2.
It's a tough AB for the young man. That should go out there and face a closer that can top out 100 miles an hour. And the first two pitches are nasty sliders.
One strike away from the 89th win of the year.
And a nice welcome home.
He got him. Ken Giles, his 31st save of the year in a 10-pitch ninth inning. And the Astros have won the first game of the series, defeating the Mariners 5-2. And in the process, they've eliminated both Seattle and Texas from the AL West division race. And the magic number against the Angels is down to 2.
Player of the game is presented by Academy Sports and Outdoors. It is George Springer. He was on base 4 times. Also scored a run on that Altuve base hit, but had a smash of a double, almost 110 miles an hour off the bat. 3 walks involved in there, and he's also leading this team on the field, and he's also doing it off the field. A great gesture, helping out those, bringing in much-needed relief on those big rigs. 1 today, 2 more tomorrow. Heck of a job today for George Springer. First day back here in Houston after a long road trip.
That's an all-around effort on the field and off the field. Ken Giles, the save. Charlie Morton, the starter, the victory. He continues to extend his career best mark in wins. He now has 12 wins on the year. Plenty more coming up from Minute Maid Park, including the postgame show.